Welcome back for the fifth and final time today for our Starladder EU coverage. We've got Alliance versus Power Rangers, the group stage grudge match. Alliance looking for a win here, and they need it. They've got quite a few losses in this group stage, and we'll see if Power Rangers have indeed shaken it off from that last performance against Cloud9, which was, to be frank, rather horrid. I'm Zyori, joined again by Gods. What's going on, pal?
Not much. Looking forward to the last game of today. It's getting pretty late here, so I'm uh, I'm ready
Oh,
for some Z's, but I'll power on through.
sleepyhead
One more game.
Gods.
It's 6 a.m. Yeah,
Yeah, it's that
I
Australia
suddenly
time
I
zone.
suddenly saw the sun rising. I'm like, oh man, it's that time. So it's all good though.
Dire team
It
ban.
sure is. So some slightly different picks here. Alliance, they'll pick up the Nature's Prophet. There's your Bulldog Hero, no surprise there. And they get the Watermelon. Nice
Yeah,
core Tide Hunter, I guess. I don't know how exactly they'll set up these lanes.
Alliance's
Maybe
turn to
probably.
ban.
Bulldog will go mid with the Prophet. A lot of options here.
I almost feel like it could be a loader or Chessie. I don't think you want tied too much against the Death Prophet. Yeah, like you say, put Prophet mid, but yeah, maybe a loader type safe lane.
10
It was
seconds.
funny because
10
Loda, after
seconds
their
remaining.
loss to MYM, like made a tweet like, "I think we need to go back to
5
being no
seconds
Tidehunter. We seem to
remaining.
always lose to that hero, so if they're not banning it, they're actually picking it here."
Yeah,
Reserve
it's also
time.
interesting to see Power Rangers ban out the Tinker against Alliance because we saw Chessie's Tinker yesterday, and it left something to
Alliance's
be
turn
desired.
to pick.
Yeah,
And
it
I'm
was not
just so
the
much more
best.
afraid of a Bulldog Prophet than I am of a Chessie Tinker, and it's interesting to me that they've let him go through instead of the Tink.
Dire team
Yeah, maybe
pick.
it's. I mean, maybe they just versed it one too many times in some of their matchmaking games. Like, dude, screw Tinker. I'm done with that hero. I don't want to verse it. Definitely the bane of some people's matchmaking experiences. But
Yeah.
I, yeah, I'm not sure. But we'll see them get the Death Prophet, the Doom. Death Prophet really has been I would say one of the kind of strongest mid heroes in at least over the last month or so, just
10
because of
seconds
the
remaining.
pushing power combined with the scary laning. And I mean, this is like one
5
of those mid
seconds
heroes
remaining.
that doesn't really look like a carry, but really can be like you can run this hero as your main carry,
Reserve time.
and it does incredible damage.
Yeah. Power Rangers have also picked up Doom with their second choice. Just a good all-around hero, nice and flexible as well. They can put him in all sorts of different roles, position 1, off lane, and even throw him into jungle if push comes to shove. They will take their time in deciding what they want to pick up here. Bat Rider and Faceless Void still in the pool, so Alliance will hedge their bets a bit and pick up the Vengeful Spirit. Could also be angling for a potential Mirana pickup. We've seen a lot of Loda on the position 1 Mirana, and we've also seen a fair bit of Misery support Mirana roaming around, so across the board, Vengeful Spirit, just a pretty solid third choice.
Yeah, it's I think one of those kind of aggressive ganking supports too. I mean, you're looking at the second band stage, like all support bands: Shaman, Jakiro, Skywrath, Earthshaker. So the kind of top tier supports have to offer some kind of utility or pushing power, like the pushing power of the Shadow Shaman, the Jakiro. Vengeful Spirit, the swap is one of those really useful tools for saving teammates, for initiating. So I like the VS pick for sure.
Yeah, and Power Rangers will burn almost all their reserve time here trying to decide what the ideal third pick is, and it's the Bane. So maybe afraid of a
Alliance's
potential
turn
Mirana
to
tri-lane,
pick.
but they'll run the Bane once more, and it was not particularly successful for them in the last match against C9.
Oh. I like to see them go for maybe a Mirana. Like they could run a Bane Mirana.
Yeah.
I feel like they at least need to run some hero that synergizes with the Bane. Like you have a Nightmare set up, have some kind of a follow up, whether it comes in the form of your carry or another support to roam with it. So
10
I think last
seconds
game the Bane
remaining.
just didn't really wasn't needed to counter any of the
5
opposing team's
seconds
heroes and didn't
remaining.
really synergize well with the draft. So Power Rangers need to make sure it has some synergy, I
Reserve
feel.
time.
I completely agree. Bane is just not. He's there for the synergy. That's really why most teams will pick him up.
Dire
But
team
here we
pick.
see the Sven from Alliance. All right, this is becoming kind of a signature Alliance thing. I've seen them do it more often than not in their Starladder matches, and usually it's gone the way of Misery, but the possibility of a position 1 Lotus Sven is definitely not out of the realm of possibilities.
Yeah, I can see it going both ways. More likely, yeah, I agree with you that it's more likely as support Misery
10
Sven.
seconds
Just
remaining.
I think the Tide you can't run into support. The
Alliance's
Prophet's
turn to
generally your off,
ban.
at least conventionally your offlaner. So Tide needs to be run probably safe lane, but I don't know. I mean, running Tide safe lane isn't conventional, so lots of possibilities. Viper gets
Yeah.
picked up by Power Rangers, and
10
I guess the
seconds
Bane. I
remaining.
mean, in some ways, if I don't think you want to run a core Sven just because you're against a Bane. Fiend's
5
Grip will just
seconds
lock him down in
remaining.
place. So I think support Sven
Yeah.
is just naturally better because you're against a Bane as well.
Reserve
I think
time.
Alliance is looking towards a Nature's Prophet mid and then put Tide in the safe lane and then look towards an aggro tri lane. That kind of makes the most sense to me, especially with a Sven and a Vengeful Spirit. That's the beginnings of what could be a very potent aggro tri.
Yeah, I think. Hmm.
Although then you have to
I
worry about.
definitely think this. I think the supports kind of rotate, like they roam a lot, because I think Bulldog still probably goes offlane on the Prophet. I don't. I mean, Prophet mid is definitely
Didn't we
worse.
see
Like
him
I've
go
seen.
mid yesterday, or was that another team? We saw a Prophet mid the other day, and I thought it was Bulldog, but maybe I'm
I
misremembering.
that was
Dire
not
team
when I
ban.
was casting. I don't
Oh.
believe. I'm not sure. Yeah, like Quakely used to play Prophet mid every now and then. It's definitely. It's not
We definitely saw
something
it the other day. I
that
may be
doesn't have to
misremembering.
do.
I guess it
Yeah.
was the last day I cast with
Okay.
Blaze, but I don't know. If I'm misremembering, then
seconds
strike it
remaining.
from the
No, no.
record. Perhaps it'll just be the standard off lane. But you
All
never
right.
know.
I
They could
believe you.
also
It
try
happened.
something greedy here and just put Bulldog in the jungle.
Yeah.
That is an
The good
option.
old jungle
Reserve
Prophet.
time.
Yeah. It's not the best, but again, not
10
totally off the realm of
seconds
possibilities. Power Rangers ban out the Wisp,
Alliance's
afraid of
turn to
a
pick.
Sven carry here, I guess is what they're assuming. It feels
Yeah,
like Power
it's still
Rangers haven't
possible.
quite done their homework with the way Alliance have normally been drafting.
No, I don't think it was likely, but it was, I guess, still possible. Like you run, like you say, the Prophet mid, the Tide off lane, and have like a Whis Vengeful Spirit supporting the Sven.
Yeah.
So it's
The other potential problem here for Alliance is Viper, if he
10
gets matched up
seconds
against the
remaining.
Tide, will just trash him in a 1v1. That's one of few heroes that just absolutely
Enchantress.
destroys the Tide. But there you go.
Dire
Enchantress
team
picked
pick.
up. So I guess that means it
Mhm.
needs to be a core Sven.
Okay. We'll get some some core Vengeful Spirit. Farming Vengeful Spirit's been done, but yeah, I think most likely, like you say, core Sven, Prophet mid, and Tidehunter offlane maybe. Yeah.
That's the best I can reason it. But
Or as you said, they can go
10
offensive trial.
seconds.
Enchantress,
10
one of the
seconds remaining.
good offensive junglers, and you're
Mhm.
up against
5 seconds
a
remaining.
trial. I mean, you don't know what Power Rangers. They haven't got their second support yet, but unless they get something like a Mirana with a Bane Mirana, like
Reserve
you're pretty
time.
safe to go offensive trial. And Bane Treant, I like this pick though.
Alliance's turn to pick.
The Nightmare can help Treant get in nice and close for a Leech Seed. Is a bit like level 1 you're strong with like boots first if you go the boots first build, but you do
Yeah.
want levels like your fast levels as well to get multiple points in living armor, because living armor at level 1's also pretty weak.
yeah, I don't know. I think if they end up with a try-on-try here, the Power Rangers tri lane will just not be as potent. Viper he's okay. Bane is okay. I don't see a huge amount of synergy across these three heroes, except for the setup like you talked about with the Leech Seed, but that falls off pretty damn quick. And you've got Enchantress there with heals, the double stun. I don't know. I think this Alliance draft is a little more scary.
Huh? I like to see Alliance that going for
10
these aggressive
seconds
drafts,
remaining.
and maybe we're gonna try the offensive trial in here.
5
It's
seconds remaining.
whoever the trialing. I mean, what looks like a farming Viper is not really the best trialing hero if you're a trialing versus trialing. So
Yeah.
Alliance definitely can consider going for that aggressive lane, but for now, the 5-man sweep.
Prepare
Let's
for battle.
wait and see.
Yeah, it will be Chessie to take the Tide Hunter. He has been playing mid, and as you mentioned before, Tide mid against the Death Prophet, not really ideal, but I suppose it's better than a Viper. Although I still don't know where Viper's going exactly. He will be in the safe lane, played by Moon. Shotchlow is on the DP, stationed towards the mid lane, and it looks like it will be Cheshire Cat headed to the off lane. The big question is, where will these dire supports go? And oh, Cheshire Cat, he's going to walk right into the danger zone. He sees the Treant, now he takes the stun. Oh, Doombringer. Now he takes a gush. This should be a first blood. Even forced the skill up of living armor to try to buy him some time. This is such a victory for Alliance. Not only the first blood, but forcing Tree to not grab that early Leech Seed with boots first means his aggressive potential is neutered.
Yeah, gosh, yeah, that's really really rough for Trian. You go that boots first, you want to have that level 1 aggressive potential, and I mean Alliance could see that and go offensive trial and be like, this Trian does nothing, and I think they're planning a dual Sven going mid. Lotus clarity up, and yeah, he's got mid items. He's got 2 Tango's pulled. He's a semi-solo mid Sven. This is I can't remember which player I saw do this before, but it's
The battle
not bad. You get the
begins.
fast bottle up, you get some ganks coming early from the Enchantress and the Venge, and this is essentially Alliance running like 3 solos and then 2 roaming supports.
Yeah, Bulldog will be headed to the off lane like normal. Chessie will be safe lane farming on the Tide. And as you said, the supports here will just be roaming about. Ake will stay in the Radiant jungle for now. And Misery boots first, a couple of sentries, ready to D-ward and help support Loda in the mid. And I feel like I've seen Miracle do this before with the Sven solo mid, go for the bottle, and you just basically spam out the Stormhammer. You harass the hero and can farm pretty effectively with it. And once you get those points in Warcry, you're pretty hard to harass. Sven is not so bad in this kind of a situation. We'll see how he fares against the Death Prophet, though.
Yeah. He's definitely going to want ganks. I think he farms okay. He probably farms a little. Like, he probably has a slight loss against the Death Prophet 1v1, but the main worry is you don't want Death Prophet just free farming. So we'll see probably early smokes towards mid. Aki already has a smoke. Is picking up I think Aki's going to pick up a second creep and then just immediately smoke mid. Doesn't get a good creep. He was hoping for like an Ursa or a Centaur there, but still may go for the mid lane.
Yeah, the Wild Wing is not great, but with the Ensnare, you can get a little bit of damage with the Tornado. Seems they'll go for it anyhow, and uh-oh, the smoke will get revealed as Cheshire Cat moves into the jungle. Good rotation from him, but now he's caught in the Ensnare. Ake looking for some body blocks potentially, but Living Armor will come out. Cheshire Cat finds his way into a regeneration room, and he will get away.
Still smoked up, so he could go for a courier. This is a bottle rush, so he could even think about sniping this courier, but it looks like he's going for the kill.
Yeah, there's the Stormbolt to start things off. Magic Missile will be there to stagger the stuns. Courier will stop in the tower and will be backed off. Ake sees it. He wants to go for it. Forced to about face, but already a kill out onto the Death Prophet. Means good news for Alliance, and Loda did get the last hit, so of course that helps his farm quite a bit. Now he has his bottle and will have plenty of mana sustainability and grabs that second point in the Stormhammer.
Yeah, and that's just how bad Living Armor level 1 is. It's a 32-second cooldown. It was used on the Doom, and if Death Prophet had Living Armor there, it would have been... I think he might have lived. It would have been close, yeah.
Ake was coming around with an Ensnare ready, though, so I think that still would have been enough to tip the scales, but... Yeah, Living Armor is really... The first point is not a value point. It's pretty assy. The regeneration's not good, and it only blocks 4 instances, and it only blocks 20 damage. This ability just scales so well with points.
It's amazing how, like, it's great when you hit level 7, you get the max Living Armor. It's pretty good. I would say it's, like, mediocre at level 2. Level 3, it gets good, but yeah, level 4, it's incredible.
Yeah. So Alliance off to a good start here. Tidehunter in the bottom lane will get matched up against the Doom. Great news for the Tide. Any kind of melee matchup, that Anchor Smash works wonders. You see Cheshire Cat with 3 last hits compared to the 17 of the Tidehunter. That opens up a lot of room for the supports to focus on the mid lane. And yeah, sure, Viper's free farming up in the top lane, but Alliance are making up for it in other parts of the map. Shotshell gets initiated upon. Bulldog even TP's in. Living Armor already taken off as the Tornado does some extra damage. Shotshell falls once again. We just sick, now gets dove, and this will be a 2-for-0 exchange easily for Alliance. Vengeful Spirit and Enchantress pick up a couple of last hits, get some extra farm on those supports, and now Cheshire Cat waddles his way over, but Loda, he's got a haste rune. He'll connect with the Stormbolt, looking for some body blocks, and does a fair bit of damage. Won't be able to secure the kill. But still, Doom not finding much, and oh no, Shotshell TP's into the tower. Lotus sips that last bottle charge. Stormhammer coming up, and he'll just die between the tier 1 and the tier 2. The Scream comes from Venge. We'll lower some of that armor, and Loda, realizing he's getting a little hyper-aggressive here, will just take a long path around and head back to lane.
Yeah. If he had a hero willing to dive the tower with him, he probably goes for it, but alone he wasn't getting that kill, unfortunately, but... Still a quick 4-0 lead for Alliance with less than 4 minutes in the game. This is aggressive stuff, and that's exactly how you've got to play when you've got this Enchantress Venge support duo. Prophet fits in nicely, like Bulldog willing to TP in to guarantee those early kills, and it works fantastic.
Yeah, Vengeful Spirit grabs the regen. Nightmare, some HP removal, so still gets the mana regeneration there. Nice little pick-me-up for Vengeful Spirit. But, yeah, Alliance still just controlling the map.
Yeah, they'll control it one step further. Get a D-ward here. This ward got 4 minutes of use, so not the end of the world, but still, PR at this point pretty blind, especially around the mid lane. Like, they've got the 1 ward at bottom river, but that does not protect Sashclo very well mid.
Yeah, I feel like this farming Viper for Power Rangers is just really not that big of a deal. He's the last hit leader, but it's not one of these heroes that's really going to ball out of control. I guess if he can farm a really early mech, that will help Power Rangers in this mid-game when Alliance will undoubtedly turn up the aggression once that Tide looks towards a Blink Dagger and starts moving around for Ravage. But other than that, Viper is just not quite as scary. I look at this free farming Tide as almost a little bit scarier, as he's going to have a Blink Dagger in a very timely manner.
Yeah. I think the Tide's kind of the better tempo control. We will see another gank towards bottom lane.
Yeah, they forced out the Scorched Earth, so Cheshire Cat's in a bit of trouble. Had the War Stomp there, and they'll burn a Ravage for this. Connects on 2. Bulldog's there with Tree Ends. They'll find the first kill. Now J4 could be in a sticky wicket himself. Puts Chessie into the Nightmare, and still not out of range of the Gush. Misery and Loda rotate over. There's your Magic Missile, and it's another set of kills for Alliance. Now they'll just transition this into a nice, easy Tier 1 tower push and find a little bit of extra gold.
Yeah, good Ravage, getting the Bane just as he TPs in. I think Chessie just got vision of him and knew that was going to get 2, so really well played, and T1 tower going to follow. Chessie, man, don't take that tower. He takes a lot of damage, but he has got the South Tango.
Yeah, he's all right. Tide will not go for the fast blink. Instead, he will look for a mech right away. Grabs that chainmail already. Tier 1 tower falls. Loda picks up the last hit, and now his farm looking pretty darn good as well. #1 on the net worth, and we'll see what he moves into. What's on the way via the courier? Probably some power treads. Nope, none of his stuff. Maybe Loda will just be rushing a Blink Dagger here.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. If the Tide's not getting it, I think I think you want to have an initiate, like around the 10-minute mark, you want to have one of your initiators having a Blink Dagger, and Sven's got the more spammable initiation. Tide's got that big 2-minute cooldown initiation, so yeah. Fast blink on Loda would be great.
Throws out a stun on Moon. They're starting to converge on Loda here. Viper does have his ultimate at the ready, but Magic Missile comes out onto the Bane. Shotshell off to the side is level 6, but no ultimate skilled up. Chessie in the middle of the fray. No Ravage. He will take the Viper Strike, and DP finds a kill onto the Vengeful Spirit, but they lose their Tria in exchange. Now Loda comes right back in, connects with a Storm Bolt, and will be forced to about face. Poison attacks enough to bring him down, and Bane will get credit for that one. Power Rangers finally find a favorable exchange, a 2-for-1 in the mid.
Yeah, Loda could have used his Magic Wand a lot earlier and got off a stun to, I think, save the Venge there, but in the end, it's favorable for Power Rangers. That's kind of what they needed. So for Alliance, they're going to maybe lose a T1 mid as well. They've got the Glyph, and with Loda respawning, I think they should be able to defend this.
Yeah, they'll Glyph up straight away. Loda TP's in, and they're ready to fight. Double damage on Shotshlow, but they do not have a care in the world. Living Armor comes out, buys him some time. Now the Crypt Swarm flies through, and Enchantress has a Hellbear trying to get in, but actually path blocks Loda a little bit and lets the Viper just lay into him. Now they're forced out. Bulldog has an ulti that flies through. Loda comes back in with another Stormbolt, but Death Prophet just about to feel the benefits of that heal. And, yep, she'll bring it back up. The Hellbear actually gets denied. Cheeky little play there. And, yeah, that's where it will end. They do keep the tower alive, though, and that's really what Alliance were going for.
Yeah. Keep tower alive. They take a bit of like Loda TP'd in right after respawning and almost goes down again, but it's still looking pretty good here. Loda not skilling his ultimate, going for the extra Warcry. Warcry isn't, speaking of spells at scale, Warcry at level 4, the 14-second cooldown, you get a lot of benefit from, but
yeah,
I think it's still worth the ultimate point. But
50% uptime, pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, it's really nice, but no God Strength for now. God Strength more if you're considering pushing towers. Right now they're more focused on kills, and the God Strength, you're not getting too many right clicks off generally in a fight.
Yeah. I mean, if you get the Blink Dagger, that's when you can hop in with a stun and start doing some damage. But right now, I see why he's holding it. Chessie still working on the mech, and pretty far away, actually, just on the Buckler for now. His farm is slowed down quite a bit as he started moving around the map. Bulldog up top almost gets initiated upon. Doom moves into the tower with an ulti, but doesn't manage to get it off, so he'll just go back to farming.
It was looking for the hoof stomp, but couldn't get it, or the war stomp. So yeah, Bulldog avoids a gank here. Who's going for an Orchid Rush? It's always interesting. Like Bulldog, he itemizes very differently depending on the game. Like he'll go for his Maelstrom Blink build sometimes. He even tried out the Blade Mail build. He goes for the Orchid Rush, and we'll see this game the Orchid Rush here.
Yep, we've seen him do that quite a bit, especially he seems to do the Orchid Rush a bit more when Alliance are kind of in a good spot early on. If you can get that Orchid out nice and early, it just gives you a lot more utility and lets him be a little more aggressive. It's also really nice to give him that extra bit of right-click damage, which is seems to be what he favors now. Even if it's not the null tally blade mail build, he still seems to be favoring the more aggressive, my right clicks are actually something to fear sort of death or nature's prophet.
And it's something which, like, PR, if they try and engage and take a fight, and some, like, Doom pre-Blink Dagger's kind of walking in. If he tries to walk in and gets silenced and killed before he can Doom, that's just disastrous. Like, that's like PR's team fight all gone. That they'll take really bad trades if that's the case. So the Orchid Silence just it affects PR and how they can engage. It forces Doom to be unable to really fight till he has a Blink Dagger, and just all in all, the Alliance just get a lot of control from it.
Yeah, Alliance will smoke towards the top, looking for a gank, but they'll just settle for a tier 1 tower. Power Rangers dodge the smoke, they head mid, and they will deploy the Exorcism. No glyph available, and it will end up just being a tower for tower exchange. Bottom lane, they'll find the Doom, and Shessie opens up with a Gush. Bulldogs there, commencing the right clicks, and they even commit the Ravage for this. They want to make sure he doesn't get away, make space for Misery to get there and connect with the Magic Missile. Hoof Stomp buys him some time. It's called War Stomp, my mistake, but they will secure the kill. Meanwhile, in the mid, Power Rangers still pressing forward, doing decent damage to this tier 2 tower, but Alliance will come to its defense and look to make a hold.
Yeah, well, it's actually getting really low. It's down to, well, not down to deny range quite.
Almost, though. That Siege Creep might be able to get it there. Ake going on the high ground, taking some damage, but pulls out the Nature's Attendant. Will survive, and yeah, old Cardi here doing some serious work. That opens up Loda for a deny, and good for our Alliance to minimize the gold income, but you really don't want to lose that big access point this early on. We're only 11 minutes in, and that's kind of your golden ticket to defending the Roche Pit.
Yep, even though it's denied, it's still global gold going Power Rangers' way, and like they just want to get up the Yules on the Death Prophet, get the fast mech on the Viper. Like, sure, it's not as fast as they would like, and getting like even a blink on Doom, but towers are towers. So I think for PR, they'll still be pretty happy with at least that last couple minutes of play.
Yeah, and Alliance did get a tower out of it, so Bulldog, well on his way to the Orchid, has the first Oblivion Staff complete already, and about halfway through the second one, with the 2 pieces picked up as he farms away in the Dire jungle. Meanwhile, in the Radiant jungle, Ake still farming up a storm as well, goes Power Treads just right into the point booster. Looks like he'll basically be rushing an Ag Scepter here.
Yeah, it's always weird seeing heroes with like 2 items in their inventory.
Yeah.
It's like, where's the TP, the wards? No, not to say he's doing anything wrong here, but yeah.
Yeah. Usually
it's
Ake
looking very bland.
Yeah, usually Ake prefers to grab the urn when he plays Enchantress, but we'll see Vengeful Spirit the one to pick up the urn this time.
Yeah. All right. So for Alliance, it's they can't really push too well, but they're going to try to take like little skirmishes with their 4 heroes while Bulldog split pushes or farms somewhere on the map, and he can always TP in should PR take like a more large-scale kind of clash. So
but not quite.
I think Alliance do want to try to take fights because the Doom doesn't have his... Well, he's actually picked up going for a Braces. So Doom no Blink, Viper no mech. So this is like... Well, no, Viper just got his mech. This is kind of at least an okay time to fight just because Doom can't really come to these... engage into these fights too easily without a Blink.
Yeah. Alliance are off to a really aggressive start, but now PR is starting to close the gap a little. Only 1,000 gold, 2,000 experience lead for Alliance, which is down from where it was moments ago. Doom did pick up the Hand of Midas, so that is a farming tool on the side of the Dire that Alliance are lacking. And Death Prophet did now finish the Yule, so those core items you've been talking about are coming out. Doom, not really that close to the Blink. They just pick up a Bracer, so it looks like maybe working towards a Drum of Endurance.
I think you really need to rush the Blink. Like we saw, like the way Fly played his Doom in the today as well as yesterday for Team Secret. I think that's just like probably the most effective way to play Doom at the moment.
Yeah, we'll see Misery get initiated upon thanks to the Yule Scepter. Takes a Leech Seed and recognizing he's dead, just throws out a Magic Missile and will deal with the realities of a 1v4 situation. Loda finding some free farm in the bottom lane, very close to a Blink Dagger if that's what he wants, but doesn't look like he'll pick up something else on the Courier. What is it?
Midas.
And a Midas, okay. So Loda
we saw this yesterday, like the 20-minute Clinks Midas, and he got punished. And then Alliance going from playing an early game aggressive game into a kind of farm-oriented game did not go well for them.
Yeah.
So let's hope it's not the same here.
Maybe it'll work a little bit better. This time he has it a bit earlier than what he committed to yesterday, so still will find a decent bit of farm of it, and he's off to a pretty good start. Actually, middle of the pack. Viper's about 50% up on him. So yeah, maybe it is too little too light. Up in the top lane, we'll see initiation onto Misery. Fiend's Grip flies through, but Loda's there. Bulldog comes in. Loda takes the Doom ulti, and they won't be able to save Misery. That's kind of unfortunate.
That was a weird little gank. I mean, Doom. I think they thought. I mean, they definitely thought Doom was alone. That's the only reason you go for that gank. But VS leading with a swap, Loda TP'd in, Prophet TP's in, but Bane just baiting out the Doom really nicely. So that was expensive because both Sven as well as Prophet TP'd up there as well. So Prophet, valuable farming time wasted. Loda does take the farm in lane, but it's not really the most efficient play from Alliance, and like it kills lost.
Yeah. Sven is another one of these heroes that does also really benefit from the Hand of Midas. That extra attack speed synergizes well with God's Strength. So another one of these scenarios where it is, of course, primarily a farming tool, but that little attack speed is not something that Loda will be disappointed with.
Yeah, and he wants the levels. Like even just now, he only has 1 point in the cleave, so he does need levels, which the Midas will give him a bit of to start doing a lot more damage in a fight with the cleave.
Yep. Misery looking for another swap perhaps to start off this fight. Can't find it on the DP. And instead Alliance will just look towards this mid-tier 1 tower. Bulldog TP's in now with a fresh Orchid complete. They are in fighting shape. Chessie has his mech about a third of the way to that Blink Dagger, and Ravage at the ready. They'll hit Moon with a Gush, but I think Alliance are more just interested in this tower. That's where they'll focus most of their efforts. Trien is now level 6, but doesn't skill Overgrowth. Wow, that's a little surprising.
That's got to be a misplay.
Yeah. Okay, here's the swap on the Moon, though. The Ravage to follow up. Moon still gets off the mech, but it's not enough to keep him alive. Alliance will use their mech as Doom presses forward. Once again, Misery caught inside of the Fiend's grip there. Chessie will just try to TP home. He will not be successful on that front. Loda and Misery both fall, and it ends as a 1-for-3. They did use a buyback for that. Viper TP'd right back into the fight, and now PR just looks straight towards the Roche pit, and Alliance get punished hard for that fight.
Yeah, I don't even think it was all like, oh, the Viper buyback couldn't by surprise. It just, they couldn't outlast him. It was a good Fiend's Grip on the Vengeful Spirit. Elsewhere, they focused well. Doom showed up with the Blink Dagger as well, and they caught Alliance by surprise there. I think Alliance thought they'd have a much easier time getting the T1 mid tower, and T1 mid tower is still standing on 600 plus HP.
Yeah. I mean, Bulldog trying to commence the Rat in the side lanes does a little chip damage to both the tier 2s, but
middle tower is under attack.
Not that much, and it'll be a slow Roche, but a successful one nonetheless. No medallion, no minus armor here. Either way, they'll be able to bring it down, and Zik will go back and grab the Overgrowth at level 7, which means that's an extra level. Living armor is delayed to be maxed out, so I think you're right. That second point in Leech Seed, I feel like it just had to be a misclick.
Yeah. Well, it's not the end of the fact they win the fight without. I mean, it's not like Trine Ultimate's like a team fight deciding spell at this point. Eventually, it's going to be great against the farm Sven, like late game Sven with BKB and stuff. Having Overgrowth to go through BKB means the Fiend's Grip doesn't have to always be on the Sven. It means you can use it on a hero to start the fight, or someone who's out of position, and have the Overgrowth deal with Sven still as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Aegis of the Morlock goes the way of Viper, so he'll now be coming back for a second time. And Bane picks up a very early Gem of True Sight. So PR will be looking to get a little bit of map control here.
Interesting.
Very early gem pickup.
Yeah. Normally you see this like when you've pushed out more towers, because they still have all these towers in both side lanes still up, so like there's only so much map control you can get when you can't push out bottom and top lane. You can't really go into the enemy jungle to farm. Like, if you push out both bottom towers, like, you can farm the enemy jungle, your own jungle, and the lanes with some map control, but that hasn't happened yet, so I feel the gem may be a bit early, but if PR's next focus is on pushing these towers, then the gem will be fantastic. And that's where they're smoking bottom, and this is a good move. It works well with the gem.
Yeah, Viper on his way to an Egg Scepter with that point booster already up. Bulldog will TP out. And Alliance will just try to make this a tower-for-tower exchange. Mid-tier 1 has been healed up quite a bit from the Trien, but they should be able to knock it down. Plenty of instances of damage there to cut through the living armor, and PR will start to commence the pushing down bottom. Chachlo with a level 2 exorcism available, but they may try to hold it. In case Alliance come to make a defense, they can actually take a fight here. Radiant will opt to use their glyph and then press forward into the tier 2. Alliance do have the pushing advantage right now. Looking to be a favorable exchange for them. Bottom tier 1 does go down as Viper TP's out. Chachlo will be the last one to head back home. Tier 2 stays standing with plenty of hit points to spare, and nothing the old tree ant can't deal with. Ooh,
Doom's
here we
chasing.
go. Cheshire Cat. Oh, he whiffs the War Stomp, looking to cast the Doom, but takes a Magic Missile mid-cast animation, and Alliance will make a successful retreat.
Yeah. Alliance, they found the TPs and managed to back off just in time there. So, Tier 1 for Tier 1. Normally, you look at, I mean, in general, Tier 1 mid towers are better than those, like, safe lane Tier 1 towers. But in this case, I think it's a pretty even trade just because it gives PR good access into the Alliance jungle. And PR can still have towers pretty close to Roshan. The Tier 2 mid as well as bottom lane are close enough to Roshan. That I think it was a reasonably even trade.
Yeah. Still, Power Rangers farming pretty well looking at this gold graph. It's just been a steady decline for Alliance, and PR still holding on to an experience edge as well. Both teams still with 1 Midas apiece, but Shotchlo pretty damn farmed on this DP. Has the Yules, as we talked about, but already a full Soul Booster complete and working on a very well-timed Bloodstone.
Yeah, not just him, like Viper getting close to an axe. I mean, we talked about Overgrowth and Fiend's Grip against Sven. This Viper Strike as well. There's so much to go through a BKB Sven to negate his damage. This Sven is not going to have a good time dealing damage in these fights. I really worry for Loda and his ability to have a high impact in battle.
Yeah. Loda is working on a BKB, so that is where his
Radiant's
sights
top
are set.
tower is under attack.
Well,
You bring some very serious questions here to the table.
there's 5 ultimates that go through BKB.
Yeah,
So
I was just looking at it. I was like, we got Death Prophet Doom. This is
Radiant's
not a
top tower
BKB
has
game.
fallen.
I mean, it's still the right. You still have to go BKB, but it's just like
What does it mitigate here? I mean, Crypt Swarm, sure, Brain Sap. Is it really worth getting a BKB?
you can BKB out of the Overgrowth. Like even just spells like Nightmare. Like if you don't have BKB, Bane can just Nightmare you up, and then you kind of ignore this end. I mean, you can toggle the Nightmare off with Treants, whatever it may be, but it's in a hectic fight. That's not necessarily going to happen. It could be like 2 seconds where Sven's not attacking, and
I almost feel like a Lincoln's or something will go further than a BKB this game.
yeah. Well, Lincoln's is. I don't think it helps so much against the Doom, just because if he's blinking him with War Stomp, he can easily break the Lincolns with Level Death and follow it up with a Doom. But there's definitely other items he could have gone, like going for Armlet against Doom, probably maybe not good, but going for like Sanjit Nyasha, going for, I mean, straight into the Mask of Madness, going Glass Cannon, but it's so tricky. This is just one of those games where like any item Sven get, it's like, oh, this item's not the best, but there's no like, oh, this item's great.
Yeah, well, we'll see how it works out for Loda. The BKB is just about complete. Actually, does he have it coming out on the courier right now? Yeah, looks like it. So we'll see it in the next fight and see how much of an impact it has. Viper now with his Ag Scepter complete. And we all know how good Viper Strike is against magic immunity. And now that it's on that 12-second cooldown, perfect timing for Moon to grab that big item pickup just as Loda gets his. Now Treant pops that Veil of Nature's Disguise. Nature's Guise. As Alliance start to rotate down bottom, and we could very well see a skirmish break out here. Doom, the only one not with Power Rangers, but he has a BKB of his own and a Blink Dagger now, and he'll be able to get down here pretty quick if a fight does actually ensue.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I don't know how intent Alliance are going to be on taking a team fight here. I've got Ravage, but they're going to maybe go for they're going for the smoke wraparound. They've got to burst down like Death Prophet in this maybe just to deal with the X's, but look at Doom's. He's going to reveal the smoke.
Radiant's
Beautiful
bottom
positioning.
tower
They
is
put
under
down an
attack.
Observer Ward, so they know Cheshire
It's
Cat is
BKB.
there. Even if they get the Doom here, he pops his BKB. Doom's Loda straight away. Now there's no BKB for him. There's the Viper Strike. The Tier 2 tower has already fallen. Doom will blink forward. Misery and Loda will fall simultaneously, and the rest of Alliance. Retreat, retreat, sound the alarm. They'll make it back to safety, but already a horrid exchange for the Radiant side as Bulldog goes to Rat Dota up top, and he'll be instantly repelled before he can even make it to the tower.
The triple TP comes. That was so smart from the Doom. He was positioned there like just in case that exact smoke gank was coming their way. It was his job to reveal it, and he was in a position such that Alliance couldn't really find him. The ward got plopped down and they realized where he was, but because of the little fog spot, both of Alliance's stun, the Venge and the Sven, required vision, and he was fogging them in the trees, so by the time they see him, he has time to pop the BKB and doom the Sven, so the fight's just instantly lost once Sven gets doomed.
Yep, Bulldog on the run will force step to the low ground, but Shotchlo in hot pursuit finds him with the Yules. We see some pings coming out from the Vengeful Spirit, and Alliance were going to come to the defense of their Furion, and Power Rangers might have been wise just to back out there. Now, the only good thing for Alliance in that exchange is Sven didn't use his 10-second BKB charge, so he will have it for this next engagement. They'll smoke once again. It gets broken by Moon as he heads up to the secret shop. He will get dropped pretty quickly here, it looks like. Mech gets used. We just sick. Big overgrowth. Chessie connects with a Ravage to buy them some time. Bulldog throws the ulti through, and J4, he is definitely going to go down. We just sick may fall as well. But two supports, they keep their Viper alive, or do they? Yeah, he'll TP home, and he will survive. Orchid not even close to enough damage to bring him down. So a 2-for-0 the other way, but the difference here is it's just a couple of supports.
Yeah, and they had to use the Ravage, swap, God Strength, Sven BKB. They had to, like, they threw their entire arsenal to get 2 support kills. And also, J4 passed the gem off to the Death Prophet, so gem isn't even lost on the Power Rangers side.
Ah, yeah.
Middle tower
That is certainly good
attack.
news. And Power Rangers now have, or pardon me, Death Prophet now has a Bloodstone up. Still 8 charges, but this is the time to try and take a good fight and sort of the make it or break it with Bloodstone. If you die right away, then it's not so good, but if you pick up a couple kills and start stacking up those charges, that's when the Bloodstone really lets you start to snowball.
And this Death Prophet hasn't really looked much like dying recently, so see Death Prophet pick up a plate mail now on top, so probably going to go towards the Shiver's Guard. And when you talk about Sven's damage output in a fight against these ultis, well, Shiver's Guard will negate that even further, so this is... I mean, at the same time, like, I think Alliance are going to look at this and be like, I mean, they've already recognized the fact, like, look, Loda's going to BKB, he's still going to get disabled. That's where Prophet as well as Enchantress are going to be kind of the main sources of damage. Like, Prophet's going to be farming up like a one-position hero. Enchantress is going to become like a semi-carry as well with the Ag Scepter. Loda's kind of just going to be the frontliner who soaks up spells. Sure, you want him dealing damage, but if he's not, Alliance have to kind of plan for him not doing damage.
Yeah. Bulldog TPs to the top lane, and Moon Viper strikes him straight away, forces out a TP home, and, well, that'll stop Bulldog dead in his tracks. Nice heads-up play to deal with the Viper, but still will quell his rats pretty easily there. So, yeah, you're definitely right about the Enchantress. Ake is now level 11 with the Ags complete, so maybe just looking towards a Mask of Madness, Assault Cross, all those attack speed items to really up her damage. Shotchlo, you are in an awkward position there, buddy. I'm not really sure what the plan was.
Okay. He hit the gem too.
Why did he do that? I thought he had a Force Staff or something at first, and he was just going to hop up the cliff, but that's really unfortunate. Yeah, they hand over the gem. Now there's 2 gems on the side of Alliance, and that'll cut into his Bloodstone charges. He's now down to 5.
Oh, they see we just they cancel his TP as well.
Yeah, they've got plenty of gems. And now Alliance will regain some momentum here. They'll set their sights on the mid tier 2, and we'll probably be able to take it out, especially without a Treant Living Armor. Sure, they've got a glyph, but we'll just delay the inevitable.
They've got Ravage, they've got God Strength. Well, Loda just needs some mana, and they can take. They're going to take Roshan. It looks like, yeah. They scat up Roshan. I think they're going to go into the pit.
Yeah, Chessie blinks forward, and they will probably be able to secure it. They know Doom is down, as well as the Treant ulti for at least a little while longer. And with all their minus armor, they can do Roche so much more quickly than their dire counterparts. And that will be Roche number 2, now going the way of Alliance, uncontested. And they are going to start to regain momentum here. Looking at the graph, tells this story pretty accurately of the way the momentum has been swinging.
Yeah. I mean, the 2 support kills earlier at the top river, like, it felt like Alliance throwing a lot to get a couple kills, but since then, I mean, it kind of was the turning point. Even if they weren't the most important kills, they've killed the Death Prophet in a really bizarre fashion. They get the pick off on the Treant, they get a tier 2, they get Roshan. This is much better play all around from Alliance.
Yeah, and there's that Mask of Madness onto Enchantress, so Ake's damage is really quite significant here. Interesting that he's opted to skip Untouchable altogether and prioritized 3 points in stats over the attack speed. So I guess he figures there's always going to be a Tide or Sven or some Nature's Prophet summons in front of him, so he's not going to be taking too many right clicks anyhow, but
there's only the Viper right click to deal with, I guess, this game, so
yeah,
he's not against any big right clickers, so
yeah,
it's probably, and even Viper is not going like right, he's not right click, he's just kind of frontline tank, so
yeah, all right.
It seems like probably the right decision based on this game. Normally I'd be like, no, man, you want that untouchable. It helps with Roshan as well, but they didn't need it for Roshan there, so.
Yeah, at this point, they've got plenty of damage, plenty of minus armor, and it's no big deal. Sven has a Blink Dagger as well, following the Black King bar, with that Hand of Midas still in tow. And Lotus Farm is getting better, still not quite on point with the Doom, Death Prophet, or Viper, but slowly but surely closing the gap. Bulldog still living up to his reputation and holding that #1 slot on the net worth chart, even without a Hand of Midas. Very impressive.
Yeah, he's got the money for the Scythe at the moment. Might be saving for buyback just to be on the safe side. They don't desperately need the Scythe this second, but at the same time it could give them some pick-off opportunities. And
they scouted out. They've got the gems. Oh, they even ravage for it. We just sick in J4. Trying to set the trap, but they get punished hard for that one.
And as soon as those 2 kills happens, Bulldog's like, great, we've got a big advantage. I can buy my Hex and maybe find another pick-off. They're pinging. They're saying TP here, man.
Come on, Bulldog. Let's
Bit
do
off
it.
the
And there you go. Force Staff into the piggies. Traps him in the trees. They'll start a little fire, have a pig roast. But not unless Cheshire Cat burns a BKB to make it out.
Misery was so close to getting that swap off.
Yeah.
He was just maybe 100 range away, and well, luckily for PR, they don't lose the Doom there. But I think they may be able to make a hold on this top T2 tower. There's no Ravage, so I think Alliance may just back off and play it safe. Yeah.
Yeah, they ping out the Death Prophet in the mid. Bulldog, Force Staffs down once more. Uses the Orchid, forces out the Yules. Does have the Scythe coming up in just 2 seconds. Will manage to get it off, but shot slow. Just a little too speedy. That Race Car Death Prophet close to max movement speed with the phase boots on, and she will scoot back to safety.
Yeah. Well, Alliance is going to be happy with the bit of control over this game they've got back, having the gems themselves, and all around just getting more of the crucial pickoffs as of late. They're going to have a refresher soon on Tide, and once Tide has refresher, Power Rangers, they've got the BKB on the Doom, but that's the only BKB they have, and maybe Moonbeat buys one instead of finishing off the Heart of Tarrasque, but dealing with double Ravage is going to be very difficult for PR.
Yeah. I think Moon will just stay true to the course here and not go back for the BKB. It would be a good shot. Yeah, I don't know. This is tough.
Yeah. He's sticking to the heart. This is probably alright.
Well, Power Rangers looking to be aggressive. 4 hero smoke. They'll rotate towards the top lane. Alliance, using good game sense, will back it on up. Bulldog scouts with his little Christmas trees. And they still have not revealed the smoke yet.
Pretty surprised how he's top of the net worth all of a sudden.
Yeah. Did they smoke under vision of this observer here? Is that how they knew? Seemed like Alliance were just aware of that rotation in general.
That was, I think they smoked. Oh, it's somewhere. I mean, there was a lot of heroes missing on the map, and
yeah,
I guess they didn't have Alliance don't have Ravage. So whenever Alliance don't have Ravage, they'll always play a lot more cautiously. And speaking of Ravage, she's back up and just 200 away from having the refresher.
Yeah, Bulldog staying true to the course, goes bottom lane. Doesn't do any damage to the tower, but just forces 2 TPs back to the base, and that quells any further push from Power Rangers. They do get the tier 2 tower in the top lane, so a nice little gold boost to going their way, but Alliance still holding on to a good lead. 3,000 gold, 2,000 experience. They're farming away more efficiently. Chessie just looking for all of that extra gold to get towards the Perseverance. Bulldog with 1,500 up on himself. Enchantress, what's Ake working towards next? Still hasn't picked up anything following the Mask of Madness, unless it's on the courier here. Refresher Orb is now complete for Chessie. He had the recipe already sitting at home. Yeah. And now Loda with a plate mail will be moving towards an Assault Karas, I believe.
All right, well, we're going towards the late game, it looks like, and I think, I mean, the Tide refreshes. I feel like I don't know. I was about to say it feels like Power Rangers maybe have a slightly stronger late game. Doom with a refresher orb in theory is great late game. Death Prophet tree and then they've got supports who really scale well late game. Like you've got Fiend Script, you've got Overgrowth, 2 ultimates that go through BKB, but double Ravage and Nature's Prophet late game are also very dangerous to miss.
Also the Sven, once he hits critical mass, if he gets like a a Mask of Madness and a Daedalus with God's Strength at level 20, he hits hard and he hits fast. And with the double Ravage, all that cleave damage will really start to add up. Here we go. Initiation onto Moon. He'll get swapped and take a stun to start things off. Chessie with the double Ravage. Maybe burns the second one a little bit quick, but the BKB from Cheshire Cat was popped. Will finish off the Tide. And that'll be a 1-for-1 trade to get things started. It looks like Power Rangers will actually take this fight. Bulldog, nice play there to scoot into the high ground, but oh, he gets finished off by a Crypt Swarm as he tries to TP home. With the double Ravage, it still ends as a 1-for-2 in favor of Power Rangers.
And that was with Doom being used on the Tide after he double ravaged. It's going to be a 1-for-3. They've got Enchantress as well.
Oh my gosh.
He's done for.
Should he have been a little more patient with that second Ravage? It seemed like he didn't quite stagger them to the max potential.
It seems he rushed it. Doom BKB'd, so he didn't actually get caught by it. And I think Doom, he used the Doom because he thought he could cancel the second, prevent the second Ravage. But the Ravage came. I think he rushed the Ravage because he's like, oh crap, I'm about to be doomed. I've got a Ravage. And Doom was like, oh, well, I don't cancel your second Ravage, but you kind of wasted your second Ravage.
Yeah.
But
I guess Chessie was sort of caught in a damned if you do, damned if you don't scenario. That BKB on Doom is kind of what turned the fight around, though.
You know, and that's where having a Viper Heart is like one Power Ranger's that fight. If he has a BKB, like he doesn't really get ravaged because he's magic immune, but he just tanks everything. He's so durable with the heart, and he does damage and slows everyone with the corrosive skin. 25% movement speed slow just made it so it was so much more difficult for Alliance to get out of there. And with 3k HP, bringing down the Viper took so much effort, and it just wasn't worth it for Alliance.
Yeah, now Doom has picked up an Assault Cuirass, so Viper's sitting on 26 armor right now when he's in the vicinity. Of course, there's Nakila and Mech and all this other good stuff. So the Sven, he didn't get to do too much damage there, and even if he was right-clicking, there's so much armor on this Dire side that it does help mitigate a lot of his damage output. I wouldn't be surprised to see Power Rangers pick up a Vladimir's Offering before too long on top of that, just for even extra armor.
Yeah. Well, Power Rangers, I'd say, again, I mean, that was Alliance, like, they secured Roshan and all that, but I think Power Rangers definitely have the edge when it comes to team fights right now. I think Alliance need to focus more on getting pickoffs, using the Admiral Bulldog, just kind of split push / Rat Dota, because team fighting into Doom, Treant, and the Tanky Viper just isn't working. I think for Alliance to win a team fight, they have to like instantly try and kill Death Prophet so Death Prophet doesn't get off Exorcism, do any damage.
Yeah,
you've got to ignore the Viper. That was honestly the main downfall of that last fight, is focusing the Viper.
DP scouting out Roshan here with the Shivas. It will be a really long Rosh respawn, so not an option for the next couple minutes here, and still not much item progression on the Radiant side aside from this Assault Cuirass on Svenny here. They will smoke up, and Chessie with the refresher at the ready. Double Ravage once again, and Alliance will try to do this once more. Power Rangers on the high ground. They will.
Alliance they scout them out. They also have a good idea where they are, because they know Power Rangers want to try to secure Roshan. Sure, Roshan's not up for like a minute and a half, but neither team actually knows that, so Power Rangers have to stay near the Rosh bit.
Yeah. And Alliance will now just smoke around the other side. Both teams just completely turtled up. And there we go. Initiation onto Doom. He'll pop his BKB to get things started. Again, Doom right onto Loda. There's the overgrowth from We Just Zik. Shot slow pressing forward with the ultimate online. Misery caught inside of the Fiend's grip. Loda goes down as well. That's a gem that hits the deck. Alliance will trade a quick 2-for-0.
Holy moly.
And yeah, hand the gem over.
That was... Cheshire Cat got swapped into a 2-hero War Star. He's like, thanks for helping me initiate.
Yeah.
He got Sven as well as Vengeful Spirit with the War Storm, and because he War Stomped Loda, he'd set up an easy Doom before Loda could even BKB, and I don't know what happened. I mean, you just can't swap in the Doom. He gets an instant BKB off. Like,
that's just not the target you want to go for. Any other target would be better.
Yeah, the only way that works is if Bulldog is there with a Hex. Like, he can cue the Hex like as Misery's walking into swap, and you can instantly Hex him.
Right.
Before he BKBs, but unless Bulldog's there, that swap initiation is never going to work.
Yeah, or unless Chessie's right there with the Ravage, basically, as he gets swapped before he can BKB, yeah. But I guess the Scythe is a little more reliable. PR won't be able to grab an objective off that, though. The Death Prophet will be now up to 9 charges. It is scouted out by Bulldog. 39 minutes in, this is third Rosh, and Cheese is up for the grabs. Looks like PR will just go straight for it, and Exorcism will be back up in about 35 seconds. They may want to wait for that.
They just lack the damage to do it in a timely fashion, so push out lanes, wait for Exorcism, and maybe they'll have Doom as well, yeah. So they'll have Doom and not... No, he'll also have a Heart of Taras too, so he's really fine.
Ooh, shot low, now gets turned into a piggy. Zik is right there with an overgrowth. Chessie with the first Ravage. Not using the refresher quite yet. They'll be happy with just a kill on the Treant. Treant will be happy to suicide to keep the DP alive.
Put his body on the line there, but can they contest Roche now? No Treant, no overgrowth. Still doable though.
Yeah, and they still have Exorcism. It just falls so quickly. They'll have to hop in right now if they want to contest this. Radiant, get Roche. Sven grabs the Aegis. Cheese is still on the ground. Chessie will walk in and pick it up. And that is a pretty big victory for Alliance. Maybe this is what they needed to start turning the tides once more back into their favor.
Very, very back and forth game.
Yeah.
Well, as soon as it looks like one team's kind of starting to get some momentum, it just goes back the other way. So things will rage on here. I mean, take a look at the net worth here. Alliance overall, like their supports are a lot more farm, but Power Rangers have these supports that can do a lot with no items at all. Like one good Fiend's Grip, one good Overgrowth. These can be like team fight deciding ultimates, and all these heroes need are their blinks. They both have Blink Dagger. Positioning is all that matters for the Power Rangers supports. Like even if they had another 3,000 to 5,000 net worth, maybe Bane gets a BKB, which would be nice. But apart from that, there's not really much else these supports need.
Yep. And Viper with 3,000 gold up. If he wants a BKB, he's not too far off it. Death Prophet with 4,000 gold, whatever she wants next. I guess Heart of Taras is where you go from here. Maybe a BKB as well, just to deal with the Ravage and render it completely ineffective. Doom has now picked up his heart, 3,200 HP on him. So Power Rangers, they just seem to be going under the motto of the tankier the better, and as long as we can survive the double Ravage and the damage that ensues, we can just follow up the team fight and live and take a victory through sustainability.
Yeah, it's worked pretty well. Death Prophet's probably the squishiest, but we saw there you get that Yules on yourself and you manage to somehow get yourself out of there. But the big problem for Alliance is they just like Tide can try and initiate with Blink Ravage because right now the swap initiations have gone terribly wrong. First the Vipers, that team fight where they swapped in Viper and tried to win a fight didn't work out. And then the Doom one, so it seems the only way for Alliance to get good initiations is from maybe a Blink Ravage, or maybe the Hex from Bulldog, but that means Bulldog has to kind of put himself in bad positions. So Alliance just, for them to take a team fight, they need to have like a numbers advantage from the start, I feel.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. Yeah, this Enchantress still hasn't really done anything in terms of item progression. Ake with 2,000 gold, but just a Mask of Madness and Aghanim Scepter. Hitting level 16 for him will be a big milestone to up his damage output, but until then, haven't seen a hell of a lot. Now Cheshire Cat hops forward, BKB on, looking for the Sven, but Loda's actually really far back, and that will be a wasted BKB charge. It's now down to 5 seconds, and perhaps this is the window Alliance we're looking for to try to take a fight.
Yeah, this is... I think maybe they let the T2 go, or... We'll see. If they want to fight this, Doom has to be very careful with his positioning.
Yeah, Chessie in the tree line. Sven actually hops forward. This time Loda gets off the BKB. First Ravage flies through, connects on 3. Second one connects on 4. It'll be a dead Death Prophet. She'll buy back. Cheshire Cat falls as he gets swapped. There's Zik coming in with a big overgrowth, but there's just no follow-up damage. He'll hop into his death. Moon survives for now. Shotchula comes back. Shiva's Exorcism online. Loda will be the first to go down, it looks like. He has the Aegis of the Immortal coming right back up. And this is just not the fight that PR wanted. Maybe they can grab a few recovery kills. They've already lost their tier 2 tower, and now they'll just have to make a hold at the high ground. Finally, Alliance find that initiation and
one
get
BKB cooldown proving so important. The Doom not having his BKB there, and just PR getting just kind of caught unawares. They weren't expecting such an aggressive blink in from Loda, and they just lose the fight off.
Yep, Assault crosses up, so they're chopping through this tower. Glyph has already come out, and this looks like it'll be a lane of rats. The Doom does not have a buyback. DP's already used hers, and without an Exorcism, what can she do? Shotchlo can just spam Crypt Swarms, but that's about it. Shivas is available and can only provide so much utility. Top lane of racks have been destroyed. Chessie takes a Viper Strike on his way. No, those are just poison attacks. Not even a Viper Strike comes out. Shivas will miss, and they'll just walk away pretty unscathed.
I mean, I feel like that shouldn't have happened, but Alliance just get the jump and instantly kill the Death Prophet. Doom doesn't get off his ultimate as well. Like and partly because he didn't have this BKB, but also just because he was in a bad position. He didn't get a good blink in, so as a result, Alliance just that was far too easy. Like Alliance I mean, it's one of those fights where you think, oh, why couldn't Alliance have done that sooner? But that should not have run. That fight should not have run as smoothly as it did for Alliance.
Yeah.
Even with the Doom BKB on cooldown.
It really just shows you how integral Doom is to the fight. And if he doesn't get that Doom ultimate off on one of the key targets, either the Tidehunter or the Sven, it's a completely different story. Loda will now move into some raw damage. Demon Edge will probably turn into a Daedalus here with 3,300 gold on him. Not too far off the mark there. And just look at this gold graph. I feel like it just really tells a story about how this game has been. Complete swings back and forth and giving us that nice W shape.
Yeah, this is definitely in the state of the game. We'll have to see if we get one. We'll get a dip out of this one as well. But yeah, definitely, even down Raxes, like their teamfight composition is still very strong. Doom will probably make the decision to almost definitely save for buyback, especially when he has boots to travel. Like, if he gets picked off at the side of the fight and can buy back, TP back in, it's definitely something which can turn a fight around.
Yeah, now PR will press forward into the tier 3s in the top lane.
They're going to have to TP back.
Yeah, Alliance are already up at the base, and Power Rangers will not win this base race. They will be forced to TP back, but they don't have a glyph here, so by the time they get back and ready to fight, this tower's already lost half health. And now they're in the position, both teams with their ultis up. God's Strength has already been used, and with that, Alliance will be looking to make a retreat. And they'll just set their sight onto the bottom tier 2 tower, the last outer tower remaining in this match, and get a nice little gold boost there. The tower will get healed up as fast as the Treant can, but Alliance just showing how quickly they can burst down towers if there's no glyph available, and they have God's Strength at the ready.
Yeah, well, PR getting in position to defend the tier 2, and yeah, Alliance not going to overcommit to anything here. So for PR, they've really got to be careful at this stage. Well, one more lost fight, they lose another. If they lose another set of Raxes, it's probably over. I mean, it's not. It wouldn't be the first time a team's come back from like 4 Raxes down, but it's definitely not something they've really got the true hard carry for in the late game to do.
Yeah. They just need to be careful about their next engagement here. I think they absolutely can't afford to do a base race because they're already at that deficit. They will press forward in mid. Both teams posturing for an engagement. There's the swap onto Shotchlo. Disjoints the stun with the Yules. Pops the Shivas on the run, but he'll get locked in place once more. He does not have a buyback here. He will survive the onslaught. Loda caught inside of the Fiend's grip. The overgrowth has already flown through. Bulldog taking heavy damage up to the side. He goes down. Loda falls as well, and now the Power Rangers take the fight they were looking for. Buybacks are available on both of the fallen heroes on the side of Alliance, so this will not be a game-ending push, but they'll lose Ake as well. Looks like a 3-for-0 exchange at the very least, and they should be able to force out some buybacks here. There's a level death, hits him right in the face, and now Power Rangers right back into a great position.
That Doom was so important there. Sashko, he dodged the Stormbot with the Yules, but as soon as the Yules were off, he would have gotten Ravage, and then they would just lose the Death Prophet, lose the fight, but Doom showed up just as Tide was about to Ravage, and Tide did not use a single Ravage in that fight.
Yeah, there's your buyback from Sven, and Nature's Prophet buys back as well. Ravage number 1, refresh, Ravage number 2. It'll be enough to finish off the Treant. Moon in the front lines taking heavy damage, throws out a Viper Strike, but Doom is still alive. He's just tanking it up in the front lines, and Enchantress will even buy back. Pops his BKB, now on the back foot. Power Rangers will concede at least 3 deaths here. There's the Sprout, and he will fall. So a 3-for-0 the other way. The top lane pushing into the Dire base will break any kind of backdoor protection. And Alliance, with all these buybacks burned, will move forward. Doom, the only one with a buyback available on the Dire side. Viper has the cooldown, but short the gold.
Yeah, it could be big trouble here. They haven't got the God Strength right now, but I think even without it, this is... Okay, Doom will buy back. They haven't got the Ravages, which is the main problem, so... Yeah, Alliance will go for Roshan. Much safer option. They have no Ravages. They have no God Strength. Not worth risking going high ground against Doom.
Yeah. Still a minute and a half until Chessie's refresher cools down. And now there are absolutely no buybacks available in this game. DP will be the only one to have it in just a couple of seconds here once it cools down. But once more, Roshan goes the way of Alliance, and it will be uncontested. Aegis goes into the inventory of Loda, who has completed his Daedalus now that he doesn't have to worry about buyback. And once more, Chessie's Tidehunter will be the one to grab the cheese.
Yeah, it's great, man. You have your buyback on cooldown, you can buy items. It's Loda's living the life, not having buyback.
Yeah, until he gets picked off, then it will be a sad life. But for now, yeah, living the dream. Bulldog has picked up a Mjolnir, so continuing on with that right-click style we were talking about, plenty of crowd controls, but he hurts, and he can really contribute a lot of damage to these fights.
Yeah, for PR, like I think the Viper going for the hat was the right choice over the BKB, but I feel Death Prophet really needed a BKB this game against the Ravagers. Death Prophet just, if you get hit by Ravagers, Death Prophet will die in the damage. Like that was what happened when they went high ground there. Those Ravagers landing, and it just allows Low to do too much damage. So I feel like a BKB for Sashko is essential, but he's already started the heart, so I imagine he's going to finish it. But BKB this game would have definitely been a better option this late in the game.
Yeah, now Moon has himself a Heaven's Halberd, so when that BKB is not turned on for Loda, he can expect to be disarmed, and also evasion will definitely help out the Viper's effective HP in these upcoming fights. Dire support still haven't found much item progression, but as you mentioned before, the Blink Daggers are more than enough. Now 3 Hearts of Tarask out on the Dire cores, so they are continuing to commence with the tank it up strategy as the Doom BOTs towards mid, and PR look to take another fight. Buyback scenario. It's just the Vengeful Spirit who has it. Shotshell gets swapped once again. Manages to get off the Yules before the Ravage comes out. Second Ravage from Chessie. Shotshell goes down just seconds later. Impetus chunking into the Doom. Or pardon me, the Bane. Now Doom in the front lines. Pops his BKB. It'll expire. And he'll get turned into a piggy. Enchantress gets doomed off to the backside. But it just doesn't seem to matter. It's at 2-0 going the favor of Alliance. Now the Stormbolt onto Cheshire Cat. He goes down. We just sick on the run. He may survive trying to TP home, but it just doesn't matter. It's only a Treant.
Doom didn't get off his BKB. He got blinked in, and well, Ravage caught him before he could BKB. He didn't get the Doom off on the time. Yeah. He just needs to BKB. Even if the first Ravage goes, if he dooms the tide before the second Ravage, he might save the Death Prophet there. The Death Prophet just can't stay alive, and that's where you look at a scenario like that. Death Prophet really needs BKB. That's the only hope you have against these Ravagers. And Alliance, they break through Power Rangers finally.
There is a glyph available here. The Death Prophet will be respawning very shortly. Compliments of that Bloodstone. Bane as well, but they don't have the Exorcism, and that's the big ultimate they need to take a fight. This will be 2 lanes of Rax, and it looks like Alliance are just one step away from finishing off this game. They'll head straight bottom. Loda hitting like a Mack truck right now, cruising down the freeway. Brake line's cut. He'll take a Viper Strike, but now the last lane of Rax are exposed. Chessie, no Ravage available, but looks like they don't even need it. Overgrowth on 5. We just sick will get dropped moments later. Moon now stuck inside of the Sprout. Living Armor flies through, but it only does so much. Loda in some trouble, but he still has the Aegis of the Immortal. It just doesn't matter. Now Viper goes down. Yule's on the DP. Without an Exorcism, she's basically useless. Buyback comes out from the Viper. Bulldog taking some Viper Strikes, caught inside of the Fiend's grip. There's the swap from Misery to keep him alive, and that'll demoralize Power Rangers enough to tap out. GG, well played, and an intense 52-minute game to round off our day of coverage, but Alliance do prove victorious with the farmed Loda Sven and Chessie's double Ravages.
Well, for once, taking out Power Rangers in the Starladder group stage, a team who's beaten them time and time again, so Alliance will be happy to get that monkey off their back.
Yeah, that is definitely a morale booster, if nothing else, but what a game. Pretty close, and again, Power Rangers gave them a good run for their money. I actually agree with you, though. I think if that Death Prophet had just picked up a BKB sooner rather than, well, she didn't have it at all, but instead of the heart, that could have been a completely different fight at the end up at the Radiant base.
Yeah, the execution from Alliance is a little bit better, knowing they can burst down the Death Prophet. Like, they go on the Death Prophet, even if Death Prophet dodges. Death Prophet did amazing dodging a lot of those stuns with Yules, but the problem is, it gives Tide the exact timing of when you come down. Like, he times the Yules such that he can just hit Ravage as soon as Death Prophet lands, and then it's all over for Death Prophet. If you have the BKB, as soon as you land from Yules, you BKB and you're fine.
Yeah. Yes, sir. So that wraps it up for our coverage today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us for Day 13 of Starladder Season 10 European coverage. I'm Zyori at Zyori TV on Twitter, and my co-caster, Gods at BTS Gods with a Z on Twitter as well. Make sure you follow at Beyond the Summit. That wraps it up for today. The rebroadcast of SCA and EU will be coming up next. Day 14 of Starladder EU will commence tomorrow, and it's a much less exciting day. Power Rangers, MYM, and Cleve will be doing sort of a mini round robin as they're all squaring off against each other. But same place, same time, and should be fun matches nonetheless. Parker, that's it, man. You got anything else for us?
Nah, that's it for me. I'm going to catch some Z's. 7 a.m. It's actually like completely light outside, which is a scary thought, so I need to go get some rest.
All right, sounds good. So take care, guys, and we'll see you tomorrow.